Welcome back to the Action Catalyst. This is Overtime with Outland, where we'll be talking about the episode with Jeffrey Hayzlett on his experience with the C-Suite network, the 250 businesses he's bought and sold, and what he's learned from his experience. A couple of nuggets that I think you'll pull from this episode that I took away was, one, how do you make hay in a crisis? Why you should never waste a good crisis. I think something he really spoke to that our family of companies also represents is the idea that a lot of successful businesses are born during crisis. And he gave a lot of different examples of that. And in our personal family of companies, 160-year tenure, we can totally advocate that having a find-a-way mentality during a crisis, getting your team aligned to how you can navigate and transform your organization to meet the demands of a crisis can actually mean that a crisis can be really good for the business, that it doesn't have to be a blow that you take. And especially with the economy always being in flux as it is right now, it's a good lesson for all of us to remember that a crisis can be an opportunity if you lean in. The second point is why every company needs to act like a media company. Jeffrey said that, one of the things that they believed in as a C-Suite network, what generated that concept and something he suggests to others is that today every company needs to be a media company. The way you attract a following isn't by paying millions of dollars in SEO just to bump your company to the top of the list. But instead, he said to create organic reach by writing content that helps you find your listeners and bring those listeners and those people who believe what you believe into your community. That was a great concept of how writing, doing podcasts, doing these different forms of media help you attract the right type of people through organic reach. The last thing that I just wanted to point out, while there's a lot of other really good content from this episode, was one of the last things that Jeffrey said he would give as advice to his 21-year-old self. And one of those things he said was to not ask for permission. He said, I think a lot of times we feel we need to ask for permission for everything, but act quickly, maybe ask for forgiveness instead of permission. That was his advice to his 21-year-old self. So for that and more great bits of information, this episode was jam-packed with knowledge. Go check out episode 442.